top diplomats from Russia and the United States are sitting down for a special round of negotiations. These, remember, are negotiations that are being held in Geneva at this point of time. The two foreign ministers are sitting down to see if there is some middle ground that can be reached in the crisis that is unfolding in Ukraine. Although the talks are taking place, it needs to be reiterated.
State Secretary, colleagues, we are very grateful to you for this proposal to hold talks in Geneva in the context of the work that was started on the security guarantees.
Когда вы позвонили мне по телефону и предложили встретиться для того, чтобы мы могли более четко прояснить наши озабоченности, мы сочли это полезной идеей, поскольку рассчитываем, что она поможет нам подготовить конкретные ответы на все наши предложения и внести свои контрпредложения, если у вас
When you made the phone call to me and proposed that we meet to achieve greater clarity with regard to our concerns, we believed that to be a very good idea because we believe that it would help you come up with concrete answers to our concerns, to our proposals, and if need be, come up with counter-proposals.
Мы прочли вчера и сегодня огромное количество материалов, которые подготовили государственный департамент относительно того, что вы назвали дезинформацией России в огромном масштабе. Я с интересом ознакомился с этими работами. Надеюсь, что кто-то в государственном департаменте был не занят и сконцентрировался все-таки на сути наших предложений, которые мы вам приняли.
Yesterday, we spent a great deal of time to familiarize ourselves with the large body of information prepared by State Department about Russia's alleged misinformation. It is with great interest that I've read them, but I do hope that not everyone in the State Department was working on those materials, and there were some who worked on the essence of our proposals, on their substance.
Последнее, что я хочу сказать, вы упомянули в одном из недавних ваших заявлений в европейском турне, что от этой встречи вы не ждете прорыва. Мы тоже не ждем прорыва от этой встречи, мы ждем ответов на наши предложения. Предложения предельно конкретные и ожидаем таких же конкретных ответов в русле и в полном соответствии с теми обязательствами, которые были приняты на высшем уровне в рамках ОБСЕ по проблемам неделимости и безопасности. Чтобы ни одна страна не укрепляла свою безопасность за счет безопасности любой другой страны. Мне очень будет интересно услышать, как Соединенные Штаты трактуют эти свои концепции.
So, I heard one of your last statements during your European tour when you said that you did not expect a breakthrough from these negotiations. We do not expect a breakthrough of these negotiations either. What we expect is concrete answers to our concrete proposals in the vein and in compliance with the obligations that were adopted at the highest level within the OSCE. I refer in particular to the principle of the indivisibility of security, as well as the obligation of countries not to strengthen their own security at the expense of security of others, who would very much be interested to listen to how the US interprets these obligations and these principles. Thank you, and once again, I'm very glad to see you.
Sergei, thank you very much. It's good to see you as well, and I appreciate this opportunity for all of us to get together. This is part of an ongoing effort to de-escalate tensions and to prevent further Russian aggression against Ukraine. I come from consulting with allies and partners, as well as from Ukraine itself. That too is part of an ongoing effort to work closely, coordinate with, consult with all of our allies and partners who share our deep concerns about the moment we're in. We are, all of us, equally committed to the path of diplomacy and dialogue to try to resolve our differences. But we're also committed, if that proves impossible, and Russia decides to pursue aggression against Ukraine, to a united, swift, and severe response. I do want to take this opportunity to share directly with you the common view of allies and partners, as well as concrete ideas to address some of the concerns that you've raised, as well as the deep concerns that many of us have about Russia's actions. I'll also make clear the fundamental principles that we are committed to defend. I also want to say, Sergei, that we talked about two U.S. citizens, Paul Whelan and Trevor Reed, who were tourists in Russia, were arrested, convicted without credible evidence, and we again ask Russia to do the right thing and let them come home. But the bottom line is this. This is a critical moment. You're right. We don't expect to resolve our differences here today, but I do hope and expect that we can test whether the path of diplomacy, of dialogue remains open. We're committed to walking that path and to resolving our differences. This is a critical moment. You're right. We don't expect to resolve our differences here today, but I do hope and expect that we can test whether the path of diplomacy, of dialogue remains open. We're committed to walking that path and to resolving our differences peacefully, and I hope we can test that proposition today and see where we go from here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press.
Can a conflict be averted?
Already answered it. Thank you, guys. Done.
All right, so these are the opening remarks that have been made by Sergei Lavrov, the Foreign Minister of Russia, and also Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State from the United States of America. The two leaders are meeting in Geneva. There will be a longer stretch of negotiations that will take place, but both leaders have reiterated their commitment that a solution needs to be found to the crisis that is unfolding along the borders with eastern Ukraine, where at this point of time Russia is said to have amassed over 100,000 soldiers. And according to an assessment by the White House has clearly declared that it sees Russia poised as prepared to strike into Ukraine pretty much at any moment. But will the West be, of course, be able to put forth a united sort of a front to try and blunt the Russian incursion, a possible Russian incursion into Ukraine, is what will be found out over the course of these negotiations that will be held between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Sergei Lavrov. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.